We're here in the elephant barn with Aaron Ivory, our animal care manager for elephants, who we successfully recruited from San Diego about 6-7 months ago. And Aaron brings a great deal of experience when it comes to the management of elephants, and we're very pleased to have her here. And what we're watching today, Aaron, is putting one of our elephants through some basic training, which helps us manage these animals better. So can you explain what Matt's doing right now?
All right, so currently what Matt's doing is he's working on a lean-in with our 5-year-old male Tamani, and what the lean-in does is it allows us to do a full-on body check of his body, and then we can also look at behind the ears. We can pull his ear out and look at the veins behind his ears, and then as we start getting better and better at doing the lean-ins with the ear hold, then what we'll do is we'll actually start training for a voluntary blood draw. So we're able to swab it and then get the blood from him, and then able to check and make sure that he's healthy.
Okay, and this type of training, what's it called? What's
This is positive reinforcement operant conditioning. So basically what we do is we are focused on what the animal is doing correctly, and we bridge them for doing what we want them to do, and as they're learning, as they're thinking and learning, we're bridging for what it is that we want. And then if they do something that we don't want, or they're a little confused, then all we do is we give them what's called an LRS, or a 3-second pause, and basically it communicates that that's not what we're looking for.
So this technique now reduces all the stress and anxiety that perhaps occurred in the past and other kinds of training regimes. And again, the animal is reacting to the positive stimulus, not the negative, and that's the important part. So if the animal doesn't want to do something, there's really no consequence for that. It just doesn't do it, and the staff regroups again. But it's amazing. What are the different procedures that you can do? You can do a blood draw, you can check feet. What else can you do under these kinds of training requirements?
Really, we can do pretty much anything. We do a TB testing where we raise their trunk and lower it after it's been filled with some saline, and what that does is it helps us check for whether or not the elephants have TB and make sure that they're nice and healthy. We can do the typical foot care that you've seen, but also let's say they've got an injury due to their tusk, or they have an injury to their eye or their face, then it allows us to get a lot closer to the animal and take care of them health-wise. If their tusk grows too long, we can even do tusk trims using this style of training. It's a very easy way for the animals to learn, because it allows them to fail and learn from their failures without getting frustrated, because they know the game.
The other important part about this program is the keepers are not in with the elephants. They're in a safe zone that then doesn't allow for these very large animals to inadvertently injure our staff, certainly. Now, Tamani is 5 years old, and he's certainly, we would consider him an adolescent or pre-adolescent when it comes to elephants. So this is a large learning curve from him, going from a calf to an adult. He's now getting conditioned into this very nicely, so that as he progresses as an adult, it's a positive thing for him and not a negative thing. So I can only imagine this is going to be a great transition for him as he moves through the North American population for breeding.
Yeah, Tamani is actually doing really well with this. When I first started, he was very excited. Just, what do you want me to do? He just has so much energy being a young male. And he's very intelligent, so he's just like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? So what he has learned mostly right now is just calm down. We'll let you know what we want you to do, and then there's less frustration because he knows what's expected of him. All the other animals, they're adults, but the same thing still applies. Studla would get very frustrated with any sort of failure, and now he knows that failure is okay. You know that it's okay for everything not to be 100%. That we'll just move on, and maybe it's something I did, maybe it's something he did, but we're able to figure it out, and so it helps to alleviate some of the aggression because they know that it's okay.
The important part here for all of us to appreciate is the fact that the elephants are really determining their boundaries in this. And while we're shaping these behaviors, it also benefits them. I mean, if we can pull blood on an animal to determine if something is wrong, or just taking samples to make sure that we have normal levels, it's a very positive thing. It's not anything that the animal would consider to be a negative process. And this TB testing that you mentioned, that's required by U.S. Department of Agriculture. We have to do that once a year. Is that correct?
Yes, it's something that every zoo across any facility that has elephants has to comply with, being able to get this trunk wash, as well as do a blood draw to make sure that they're healthy. The nice thing about this is, like Larry was saying, is that it's 100% voluntary. This is a relationship-based training method which revolves on building a positive relationship. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is really get the animals, learn each other. The animal has to learn you as well as you learn them, but also start building your trust. And what we're going to do is work on that trust for years to come, and you can train all sorts of behaviors, from anything, even to lie downs and semen collection and AIs.
Well, a lot of this training now goes on behind the scenes in the barn on a daily basis, and in the future we hope to have an opportunity for the public to be able to watch this and understand more about it. When you come to the zoo and see the elephants on exhibit, they've already gone through their training for the day and their checks and so on and so forth. But so stay tuned for future opportunities for the public to understand more about this training and see the benefit of it. I think you'll agree that it's just a much better system all the way around, and the elephants are all the better for it. So, Aaron, thank you very much, and I guess we're now going to go look at our big bull, Stoodlo, see what he can do.
Yep, sounds good.